All right, super successful morning. Got a ton of work done. Was able to, I'm gonna like squat here. Was able to get a lot of work done alongside figure out all of my athletes that need blocks for the next week. Had an athlete call for nutrition, which I'm really excited about. That's a new kind of like service that I'm giving my athletes. So done for the day work-wise, which is dope because it's only 3 p.m. That's why I like to work early in the morning. Fuck yeah. What we're gonna do now though is we're gonna get out the pre-workout carbohydrate, AKA just 2 servings of cran apple juice. I already had my more satiating carbohydrate before I go train, which would be the cream of rice that I make. I pre-batch it every week and make it in the morning. It looks like I'm coming out of the glass, dude. Like, wait, let me see if I can do this. Yeah. But yeah, this is gonna be the elixir alongside some caffeine to get me to pull 280 for a double. Let's go. It's hype. Okay, we're getting after it now. Okay. I just got done with my run. I run 3 times per week at a very slow pace so that I can increase my cardiorespiratory health and I can be a actual athlete, powerlifter, whatever you want to call it. I think that how people go about introducing cardio and powerlifting, it's a very hot topic right now. Matt Vayner talks about it, Sean Noriega talks about it, I've talked about it. The way that people introduce it can be very, very hectic, and it can really derail the progress that you've already made with yourself and with your coach. And so I highly suggest that if you are not already doing cardio, start doing cardio, but incrementally increase. Do not go from not doing any cardio at all to doing what the CDC suggests or what the American College of Sports Medicine suggests, where you go from nothing to, I think it's 180 minutes of zone 2 cardio per week. You will get cooked, especially if you're doing something like running. I enjoy running, that's why I add it in. If I didn't enjoy running or I had an athlete that didn't enjoy running, I wouldn't add it in for them because it wouldn't be beneficial, right? Running is very unique compared to other zone 2 cardio, such as cycling or incline walking. Incline walking is probably the most popular. I just don't like it because it takes forever. Running is probably the most strenuous because of the inherent increase in force production that is occurred by the legs, especially eccentrically. We are not used to, as powerlifters, having to counteract ground reaction forces that are, 3, 4, 5 times our body weight, right? We're used to walking. We're still, counteracting some ground reaction forces, overcoming friction. But now when you're, in a flight phase and you're having to absorb force into the ground and eccentrically contract at the quad, especially the VMO, that's where I feel it the most, it can get very strenuous. And so, somebody like me, I've ran a half marathon before. I have previous experience in endurance training, and I can go out and I can run 30 minutes and be okay. If you've never run before, you need to start very low. My general suggestion is 2 runs per week that are at 1.5 miles apiece. And you might be looking at me and saying, like, 1.5 miles, like, that's crazy, that's super low. The issue is you are not used to running. All you have to do is start there, increase 10% of running volume per week, week over week, until you see an impact in your performance in the gym, meaning a detrimental impact. If you get to 7, 8, 9, 10 weeks down the road and you're at 7 or 8 miles and you see a performance decrement, okay, fucking pull the plug. That's where you cap, or you go maybe a mile below that. I tend to use it as time because I'm just worried about the zone 2 cardio aspect of things. So I do 3 running sessions of zone 2 to zone 3. My pace at zone 2 or zone 3, by the way, is around 13 minutes per mile. I just got done of a 30-minute run. I only ran 2.4 miles, okay? Like, this whole notion that, like, a 10-minute mile is slow is so fucking stupid. It's so dumb. 10-minute mile is fast. To the average runner, it's slow, but to somebody that's never run before, it's fast. It's really fast. We get this notion that, like, a 5K is done in 30 minutes, right? Because that's the average. The average for everybody that runs or is active in America. You are on the high end of the spectrum, the highest percentile of human performance for strength, which means that you are not on the highest performance percentile for endurance. So you're gonna be below that 50th percentile, and you're gonna have to take longer. Like, I just, that's my biggest piece of advice, is just take it very, very slow, and you're gonna have a lot of success. Beyond that, if you want to check to see if you're going too fast, the general rule of thumb for runners, if you run in a group, is that you can hold a conversation with the person beside you comfortably. I run alone, sadly. I don't have anybody to run with in your college station. And so my general checklist is, can I go through about, a minute or 2 to 3 minutes of purely running with nasal inhale. So no mouth open, just purely through the nose. And I actually do a majority of my running through nasal inhale just to make sure that I'm below that threshold. If I get to the point where it's getting so hard that I have to breathe out of my mouth, I know that I need to slow down. So that's my advice. If you want to start cardio, start it very slow. If you want to start running very slow, but you're going to get to the point where it's going to be really fun, and you're going to start enjoying it like I do. So appreciate you guys. It's the end of the day for today. Let's see what goes on for the rest of the week. Got the meet coming up this weekend. And now we are back in the saddle, back in the work. I've written 3 blocks already this morning, did all my client feedback, and did some housekeeping for the meet that's coming up this weekend. Got 2 more blocks to write, technically 3, but I'm doing an onboarding with an athlete tomorrow where I need to do that first and then write the block. And so we're gonna knock this out before lunch and then be good for the rest of the day. Okay, so we're at the gym where the meet is. This is the last meet that I ran, the Continue Climbing Classic. Behind that banner, it's massive. Right over here, we have the new banner for the meet, 10 by 10 banner. Really excited about that. But I'm basically, by the end of this vlog, you'll see what it's like from the meet director's perspective to run one of these things. Now, this one is still a lot more low scale than the other meets that you might see in the USAPL. There's no live stream. There's only 48 lifters. There's only 1 platform, and so it's still very much a smaller scale meet, but I think it's cool to be able to see in the back door of what's kind of going on there, and being able to kind of understand what it takes to put one of these together, because it does take a lot. So I'll kind of go through the finances by the end of the meet. I'm going to put a time lapse up of us actually like moving some stuff around, but yeah, I'm really excited. It starts tomorrow. Today's Friday. It's going to start Saturday morning, and then of course you guys will see this on Monday. So super pumped. We did it. The meet is going to take you guys on a kind of tour around so you can see what it looks like. You'll also see a time lapse of everything. So here we go. This is obviously the platform. I'm very, very happy with how this came out. The only thing that I'm pretty angry about, if I'm not gonna lie, is just the overall quality of the banner. I need to talk to the manufacturer, but this kind of split seam thing, it's kind of pissing me off. Because if you look at the banner that we had before, there isn't one. And I don't know if I ordered the wrong material or if they just jipped me, because they were the same price. But this is a much nicer material. It's much nicer vinyl. So we got that. All the chairs are set up, as you can see, for all the spectators, which is really dope. So as the lifter, this is kind of the view that you'll have. POV, you just failed your third squat and you bombed out. You got the kind of warm up, kind of seating area for them to be in before they lift. A little welcome place for people to pay spectator fees, and our sponsor Iron Box. And then back here, there's the staff that helped me. Shout out to these guys. And all of the warm-up stuff. A big part of what I wanted to do with this specific meet was I really wanted to make sure that everything looked clean, that everything looked organized and ready to go. I don't think there's anything worse than going to a gym to compete and everything looking out of order and you not knowing where to go. And so it's very, very important to me that that was hit on. And so I'm going to kind of take you guys through everything that I kind of had in mind regarding that so that nobody would be confused. So we've obviously got all the warm-up platforms. We got 3 TSS platforms and combos, a competition collar, a regular collar, and a spring collar, depending on what you like, your chalk, and then all of your weights, 2 air bikes for them to warm up on, as well as a treadmill, all the dumbbells in the world that they would need. And if they need any other any other squat racks here, we've got them all lined up. But notice how everything is lined up, everything is organized. That was a huge thing that I wanted to do. Now, when it comes to the actual running of the meet, they'll kind of be back here and they will just be kind of chilling here for a little bit as they're waiting for their name to be called to get on the platform. And so they'll chill here, and then the general flow is you go from here, you walk around here, your name's called, cool, Rob Escalate on deck, cool, you stand here, and then you wait, you come up here, you actually squat, whatever, and then you come over here, you've got your scoring table. So this is where Phil, the owner of the gym, and Jerry, another good friend of mine, will be doing all the scoring. So you put in your next attempt, and then you just get to walk all the way back around and wait back there. Or if you're done, you go all the way back to the actual warm-up room. Now, notice that there are only 3 warm-up platforms and combo racks. Our flights are only as big as 14 people. This is another big thing that I wanted to make sure was noted, because I don't think there's anything worse than having a meet that has maybe 2 combos, but a 15-person flight. So you've got 7 people on a rack. The maximum amount of people that are ever gonna be on a rack at this meet is 4. Maybe 5 for our 13-person flight, but 4 because most flights are 10 to 12 people. And so it's gonna be much more chill back there because it is a pretty close space. So if you're looking to run a meet, make sure that you're thinking of that, because that absolutely makes the lifters have a better experience. All that a meet is for lifter experience. It's not for you, it's not for the money, it's not for, notoriety, anything like that. The only reason you should be running a meet is so that the lifters can have a good experience. And the way that you do that is you make things flow very well, and you make things organized, and you make them have space to be. So that's everything. Check up with you guys again tomorrow. Really excited for this. Yeah. The week is done. We had a very successful meet. I'm kind of mad. I totally forgot to film really anything for it, but if you go on my Instagram, you'll see the post that I made about it. Extremely successful. Was so happy to get everything done, within the time frame. We had both sessions finish within 3 hours, respectively. So first session started at 11. ended at 2 on the dot. Second session started at 4, ended at 7 on the dot. We were done, cleaned up, gym back in working order by 9 p.m. Extremely successful day. 9 a.m. start time with weigh-ins and check-ins and everything. 9 p.m. the gym was fully back to where it was the week prior. Everything put up, the banner down, all of that finished. I am so tired. There's a lot that goes into running a meet. I think maybe next week I'll take you guys through a lot of that stuff, the expenses and everything. There isn't too much that you really make from it, but it was a blast. The energy in there was awesome. I want to thank my staff, all the spotters and loaders, the refs, the expediters, table workers, the owner of the gym, Philip Scruggs. It would not have ran that smoothly without everybody being able to do what they did at a very high level. And I appreciate them working at a very high level and helping me out there, because the lifters had an amazing experience. I'm floored. I'm floored by how much fun this was. So thank you guys for watching. Another great week. Got another peek into my life. Love you guys. Continue climbing.